Hey guys, Mark Ferrasci, Pro Tech Dog Training, driving down the road as usual, heading over to another trainer's place to work some dogs, do some bite work. But I wanted to go over a subject that I've been thinking about doing, and you guys have been following my videos for any length of time. You know I have a tendency to talk in general sense about people that I run into, that I end up maybe closing the door on a relationship, that I end up getting a little irritated by in regards to them doing the normal thing of being a Poofta trainer or whatever it may be that goes against my ideals, my ethics, my morality, my beliefs in who I am as a trainer. I live by those standards, right? And for those of you that have gotten to touch me and had that experience being around me, you've been upset, you've been, whatever your reaction may be, but it's happened enough times that it's going back into the grapevine. And that image is getting to a point where people are coming back and saying, you've got a reputation of burning bridges or not getting along with people. Remember, I've been doing this for 30 some odd years. When it gets to a point with somebody like me that's been training dogs for as many years as I have, when it really gets down to it, I don't give a shit, right? I've got plenty of business. There's all kinds of clientele out there that know who I am. I built up my business. I don't have to work that hard at it. It's just like this weekend. I went out and said, I need to get some business in. Took Joker out, went down to Tractor Supply, did some showing off, dropped a couple dimes and started making some conversation with a couple people, and boom, I've got 2 or 3 dogs coming in. It's not hard. There's plenty of business out there. When you get to be a person like me that's built up your business, I can go pretty much anywhere I want to go, rub shoulders with all kinds of people and do business with people that know who I am. But here's my point. This is why I'm getting into this subject. I recently touched a trainer that came up in this area that's got a pretty good decoy working with him that I had a lot of respect for. Here's the problem. Your lifestyle, whether you realize it or not, how you run your business is a direct reflection on you, who you are as an individual. And when I go out and I touch people, I want to know who you are as a decoy, your knowledge base, the kind of work you're going to put out for me when I'm paying you for your services. But I also want to know that you've got your head in the right place. Where's your ego? Are you a humble man, right? Me, I'm not so humble. I know I'm pretty good at what I do. You won't hear me talking about a lot of things that I'm no good at, and there's all kinds of things I'm no good at, and there's one thing that I am good at, dogs. So you hear me talking about that and having an attitude kind of like I'm an expert or coming across with some forward persona in regards to knowing what I'm talking about. Well, that's because, again, I've been doing it for over 30 years. Well, close to 40, actually. But on my business cards say 20 because I think it sounds a little too pretentious when you start talking 40 and 50 years doing this. But it's true. I started when I was 12 years old. I'm in my 50s now, so do the math. Not that hard. So back to this. So this kind of goes out to the community as a whole, but it's to the general public as well, right? I wanted to get into the subject. This gentleman's running his business. He's got a lot of mastiffs. He's into the Cane Corso breed. He's a breeder. And he's got a decoy that's around him that's got a lot of experience. But here's the point. They're doing nothing but bite work. It's all teeth and no control. Okay? And their whole attitude is doing nothing but bite work. And they have a lot of brand new people that don't have a clue, and that they're educating a little bit in how to hold the dog, how to handle him, how to praise him, all the things that are normal for teaching a person when they first start out how to handle that dog doing bite work. It's all normal. And they have enough knowledge to know what they're talking about in that regards. But here's the point. Their overall approach to life and their business in general is such that all they're doing is chaos. Nothing but teeth. Okay? So this goes out to the general public, not to the professionals or the people that are in my industry. This goes out to the general public that's shopping for personal protection, executive protection, that sort of thing. Today's day and age, dog bites carry a high liability, right? That being the case, when I first started out 30 years ago as a kid and started doing bite work, I'd run fences, I'd do area guard dog type of work. It didn't matter, right? To me back then, but now looking back at it, and from hindsight, I realized that my customer deserves better. He deserves to be, or she deserves to be educated about the liability, and they deserve to have a product that's being built on stability. A well-developed animal that's stable in today's day and age and society, and that is not just a vicious dog behind the fence. Me as a professional doing what I do, it's very important that I produce that kind of product for my customers. Why? Because there's liability involved, guys. If your dog bites somebody, the only chance you have in a court of law is to end up, and I have kind of this fantasy. I've never been in a court of law. For 30 years I've done it and never had a dog bite situation that's got me into court. Right? And the reason for that is because I have a high attitude, a high degree of attitude and behavior on my part that says that I am better than that. Teaching a dog to bite, some of you guys have heard me say this before, is easy. It's not hard. Anybody can stimulate a dog and get him to bite. Anybody can go tease a dog behind the fence line and get that dog to be a nut. What's hard is to create and build a product where that dog is stable, well developed, and you can take that dog out and meet the criteria that I give my customers. A dog that I can take any place with me. He's friendly, he's fine, I can greet him into people. He will let people pet him. He's not an unstable dog. And I tell my customers, this is the first priority, this is the first criteria that you need to be aware of if you're gonna work with me. That dog has to be stable. And the reason is because I don't want my customers to have a dog that puts them in a position of having a high degree of liability, because they're already facing a high degree of liability. And the only answer you have is if you can go into court, talk to the judge, and take your dog in there, have your dog get greeted into people and start showing them some of the fancy obedience that you do, and that dog works like a top, you might get some leniency from the judge. Okay? But in a big way, the liability is totally slanted heavy against you in a dog bite. Okay? You need to have all the things that you need to have to protect yourself as much as you can from that liability if you are going to play in this world. All right? So this gentleman, and with his business, he moved up to the high desert. He's going to take over the high desert. He's paying for per session on bite work. And that's all this guy's doing. It's a friggin' chaos fest. It's nothing but teeth and chaos. And in my world, I look at that and I say, this guy's an idiot, right? So my point of view is that this is very detrimental and very negative on our business. So if you are the individual in question and you know who I'm talking about, get your shit together and start realizing that you will get run out of the business so fast. One bite is all it's going to take. You had another guy that you were working with, that's where this attitude comes with, that was for a year and a half bragging about how he had customers and his dogs bit for real. I've already got 2 or 3 dogs that have been in court and had to go to lawsuits. He was proud of it. You don't hear about talking about it now, but when he first started this business, he thought that was so important to take a real bite. What an idiot. So, and it is important to have your dog be balanced well enough that he can bite and not have equipment and bite for real. To me, I want a dog to get to that level, but you get my point. We got to build a dog and we got to have equipment when we first start, right? So, in a nutshell, guys, be aware of the fact that liability is always something you should be aware of and conscientious and concerned with. Okay? If you go in and doing protection dogs and you want to have a dog to protect your home and your family, to me, more power to you. That's what I do for my living, right? I give my customers this quality and product that I can produce the quality product that's going to give you what you need, but I want to make sure that you understand all the ramifications of what you're getting into. And this gentleman's into mastiffs and large dogs that already have a tendency to be over-aggressive and are a liability already as it is. And if you don't put the work in with their puppies and do the right thing to develop that dog in the right way, you're asking for nothing but trouble. It's only going to take once for you to lose your home, your car, all kinds of money, or go to jail for that matter. Okay? So just take it from me. You don't hear about it much, but it does happen, and the law is going to be slanted against you. Okay? You only have one option to make sure that you do the job to protect the society. Have good, secure fence line. Don't put the public in danger. Make sure that you have a dog that's well developed, that you can have all that stability so that you don't have a problem, that it never happens. It never happens if you have a dog that's developed properly. Where the dog bites happen is from people that have chaos. Go ahead, keep doing chaos and find out what happens. It's only going to be a matter of time. Okay? Believe me. Right? So it looks great on film and all this yeehaw shit, but believe me, that's not me, and that's why I'm not working with these individuals anymore, because they have too much chaos and they don't want to put any control in their environment. They will now that I'm talking about it. Watch. You're going to start seeing them do all this stuff. They're going to look like they're all fancy with the obedience and all this. They only did it because of me, because I'm mentioning it, right? Reality and truth. They're not worth a shit as far as really understanding how to build a quality product, right? Will the dog bite? Yeah, because the breed in general's already got that ability to them, right? So just take it from me. Be careful, guys. Who you do business with and their credibility in the profession is important, right? Make sure you don't get somebody just hung up a shingle that says, Poofta, I'm a dog trainer. You're losing money and they're not going to do the same quality of the job. You're not going to get anywhere near your money's worth when you go to spend your money with someone that doesn't know what the hell they're doing, right? I'll talk to you later. You guys have a good day. Mark Ferrasci, Protect Dog Training, yakking to the screen about the industry and dog training in general. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.